Today I'm going to walk through a method I've been using to generate content for songs. So you might use this for getting ear candy or just filling up space or transitions or even inspiration for any kind of sound design. The goal here is just to generate as much content as possible with the least amount of effort, least number of decisions to make, so that when you're done, you can pick out all the good parts and delete everything else without feeling bad. The main way I do this is just to generate content from existing instruments that I have. I'll show you a case where I also did this by kind of making a simple pattern with a simple patch and generated content from there. All these examples are going to come from projects I'm currently working on. So this is not like contrived nonsense. This is actually something I'm going to use in finished work. So for my first example, I'm going to use this simple little art pattern. I'm actually going to duplicate the track and just bring it down here. The reason for this is that I don't want to modify the original, but I do probably want to turn down some of the effects on this before I start generating new stuff. So I'm going to turn down the delay and reverb. I'm also just going to delete my mixing chain here. I don't know what this is going to sound like, so we'll have to mix it anyway. Now I'm going to add a new audio track and I'm going to get input from this OB2. The reason I'm doing this is because I really want to work in audio here. I have a tendency to do everything in MIDI so I could change it later, but that's the sort of thing that kind of gets you into a cycle of editing, and it would defeat the goal of doing things quickly and effortlessly. So I'm just gonna, if I hear something cool, I'm gonna record the audio, and that's all I have. I just have that. It's a sample. I can work with it later. For this example, I'm going to use a plugin called Infiltrator. It's a really cool multi-effects plugin that does sort of like beat synced effects. It has a whole bunch of options for different ways you can mutate the sound. So if you want to change the sound in crazy ways, this is great. I also use Shaperbox for more subtle things, but I like this for crazier stuff. And I really want to go crazy with this. I don't want to have subtle effects. I want to have sort of big changes to the original sound that are still based on the original sound. So it kind of automatically fits in the song a little bit, but it's going to be a new track. It needs to sound much different. So, all right, let's just start with some basic distortion. If I go like this, you can see it's just being modulated over time. There's a sound. I don't think it sounds great, but I'm just going to keep adding stuff. We'll see where it goes. Let's do maybe stretch. Weird. Okay. How about reverse? That's a sound. I'm going to keep going. Notice I don't really care that much if it sounds good. I'm just going to keep adding stuff. Maybe target sounding good later, but it's not really that important right now. All right, how about a pitch shifter? Why not? All right, yeah, got some more slots. Just keep going. What else? What else we got? Let's add a delay. This one's always fun. You can just mess with the delay time as it's playing and get some crazy effects. All right. It's a thing. It exists. One of the cool things about Infiltrator is you can have a sequence of effects that turn on and off over time. Let's see what it sounds like. All right. So I heard something that I liked. This weird little, just kind of quiets out and sounds like it's stretching. So what I'm going to do next is I have my audio track armed. It's already being fed from this sound. I'm just going to record to audio. And I'll close this for now. All right, so we have our first sample and it sounds crazy. But there's some parts that I like, so let's find them. I like that. So I'm gonna slice around it. That's all I'm gonna keep. Might keep this. Notice I don't care that they actually line up with the music or anything. These are all kind of independent samples in my mind. Alright, I kind of like that. I may not end up using all these things. I may just get rid of them, but just anything that sounds kind of cool. And this is just content, right? This is now just samples that I have that I could do whatever I want with. I may continue to process them. I may delete them. Who knows? Alright, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to make another audio track. Let's add some more effects. That's actually kind of crazy. You know what? I'm just going to record that too. I might be able to get something out of that. All right. I'm going to do something different for this one. I'm just going to go through presets, and if anything sounds cool, I will record it. So there's a nice little random button here that will choose a random preset. It's perfect. I don't want to have to think. I just want to hear stuff, and if I like it, I'm going to keep it. I mean, that's cool. All right, new random preset. Here we go. Nah. There's so much going on here. There's no way that I will not be able to find something, right? All right, maybe one more. This is too much fun. I could literally do this all day. Obviously this one. So I have content now. How long did that take? I don't know. Wasn't very long. Let's see what some of this stuff sounds like. Okay, so this is like a weird little spacey sound. I do try to delete stuff early so that when I go through later and make even more cuts, I just have less stuff to listen to. Alright, I kind of like that. It's like a rhythmic highlight. Alright, that sounds like something that can go in the background. Just maybe even the whole thing. I'm just going to leave it. Alright, so it kind of loses the beat after this, I think. There we go. I like a lot of this one. We'll see. I don't know about this one. All right, there we go. Got some content. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. That's a problem for another time. So for the next example, I'm just going to do some preset diving with another plugin. This one is Coldfire Distortion by Arturia. I like anything that has any kind of modulation because it includes rhythmic effects when you go through the presets, which is always nice. So I got a different song pulled up. So here's the original sound. So let's just see what some of these presets sound like. All right, I like some of the sounds coming out of this, so I'm just gonna record it. All right, this sound right here was pretty nice. Don't need the rest of it. Maybe I'll grab this little bit. All right, that's all I need from that. I mean, that's fun, but what am I supposed to do with that? Whoa, I want that maybe for a different song than this. Yo, I'm gonna record that. All right, let's get a new one. All right, that could definitely be used as some kind of accent for this. Alright, I like this one. Easy peasy. Realized I should shorten this just to see if whatever effects I'm using have cool tails when the sound stops. Alright, let's see what we've got. Crazy. None of this is weird enough. Maybe we'll use that. Maybe we'll delete it. Maybe we'll look at like how I might use this a little bit. All right, so let's just get rid of the distortion. Don't need it anymore. It's kind of like a little rhythmic flare. Let's see if we can fit this in maybe as like a response. Just want the essence of this here, so it sounds kind of like a little delay maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to work on this later. We'll see what we can do with it. Alright, well the video froze while I was recording this whole next example, but I'll just show you the results. So this example, I'm just using stock plugins in my DAW. Here's the original sound. All right, you can see what I've added here is a couple delays. I really like having multiple delays with different settings to just smear out a sound. I've added flanger and chorus that are turned off right now, but they come in and out for each of these examples, and then hybrid reverb, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a sec. The first couple examples I did were just this pair of delays and phaser and a chorus, and I just kind of turned everything on and off until I got cool sounds. So here's one of them. Yeah, so you got an interesting rhythmic texture there. All I really did was modulate the delay time in one of the delays fairly slowly so that it kind of has that speed up, slow down effect with the different plucky sounds. So you can hear it has all, it's like, that's the stuff I'm looking for. I don't care about all the little bassy things that just sound like my bass. I've already got that bass. I don't need more of it. But I like these little effects, these little rhythmic flourishes that I can use. All right, so what I did next was I just turned off one of the echoes, turned off the different phaser flanger effects, and I put on a hybrid reverb. This has a lot of crazier convolution-based reverb things in here, so I just went to the textures and I started scrolling through the different textures, and I got some other really cool sounds out of that. Got this one. Kind of atmospheric. And then this one, which I thought might be good for maybe transitions. Maybe even just atmosphere. I don't know. I think the key here is really just looking for these cool little bits. This isn't like the end of the processing for these. I might take these and add some more effects to them, chop them up, reverse them, add fades and resample them, and all kinds of stuff. This is just generating a bunch of sounds that I can use later in the process. Let's just go through and trim these up a bit. All right, I just need this. All right, that's good. See which ones I use. A lot of these sound the same, and what I'll probably end up doing is just picking the one or two that I like the most and just using that. All right, so this is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. I feel like this whole one is going to be useful. And maybe I'll keep this since it's the tail. These are definitely separate samples, so this. For this kind of thing, I'm not going to chop it up yet. If I find a place for it, I'll chop it up in there. All right, so before I finish this, I just wanted to show you some of the stuff that I've done in an actual track with the sort of finished product, like how this ends up in context. For this part, I did something different. I didn't actually have something to sample from. I just knew I wanted kind of fast 16th note plucky sounds. So I made this really basic, terrible sound and simple pattern. Just does that over and over again. I went through this process various ways, and I got some nice little things out of it that I ended up using. It's just kind of little flourishes. All of these things came out of various things. You can see like this is an audio sample. This was chopped up and resampled and had more effects, all that stuff. So, in context, it sounds like this. So, yeah, it gives me that essence that I wanted of kind of a plucky, fast 16th note sound, but it doesn't sound a whole lot like the thing that I made. It does kind of still sound like it, but... Now this next part is crazy. Literally, this entire section of the song is driven by content that I generated in this way. Most of this was done actually with Coldfire Distortion, just scrolling through presets while I was sitting on a plane for 4 hours. This actually only took about an hour to generate the content, but I spent a lot of time slicing it up and modifying it afterwards. So the original sound was this really simple chugging guitar sound. And I ran that through a lot of different stuff. So lots of weird glitchy sounds, rhythmic effects. And then I got like these cool kind of whale sounds out of it somehow. Lots of little tiny bits. It's like Transformers. So it's kind of funny because I was agonizing over the song forever. I kind of had this basic drum and bass beat with a simple bass line, and I just could not think of anything to add. But the whole song's supposed to be really chaotic and sort of represents, like a really anxious, chaotic mental state. So once I had all this stuff, I'm like, why don't I just make an entire section out of this? This is what it sounds like. yeah, I'm a big fan of how this came out. It sort of has the exact vibe that I was looking for. And it was really a great example of sort of how to get through being stuck, how to fill out your song with content. And it was just a lot of fun. So yeah, it's a process I've been using a lot lately. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's gotten me over humps. It's stopped me from having to use splice. I hate scrolling through things. Like, I'm obviously scrolling through presets here, but because I determine the initial content and I'm really just modifying the initial content, I feel like it's easier to get something that I'm looking for. Whereas when I'm on splice, it's kind of like, I don't know, everything's a lot more random. For me, this is just a process. I showed you 3 different ways that I do it. I use them in different circumstances. You know, Infiltrator is great for mangling something and getting some crazy sounds. It's really great for rhythmic stuff and kind of taking a sound and mutating into something crazy. Preset diving is just super fast. You just don't have to do very much and you can get a whole bunch of stuff. And then, yeah, and sometimes I just do it with stock presets. Sometimes I just start adding effects, make it sound crazy, you know, record it, find the cool bits, go from there. So if you found this video helpful, get off YouTube and go make some music. You don't have to click any of those YouTube buttons if you don't want to. I don't really care. See you later.